Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the one for May 2024. It's called the Tropical Heat Collection. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it where I go over everything that came in the box. I have a coupon code, it's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. And here I have the 6mm carnelian beads that came in the box. And here I have some 6mm citrine beads that I had left over from last month's box that I'm going to use. And here I've got the triangle beads that came in the box. This is what I'm using for my focal. I've got the Crackle Agate Faceted Nugget Link that came in the box. I've got a bail. I've got some 4mm jump rings and one 6mm jump ring. I've got 3 ball head pins, 3 of the little triangle beads, and some links of the chain. And in here are my findings. I'm going to be using 2 of the links that came in the box, the lobster clasp that came in the box, a couple of pieces of the chain that came in the box. I've got a piece of extender chain from my stash. I've got a ball head pin and one of the little triangle beads I'm going to use as a dangle off of the extender chain. I've got 2 wire guardians, 2 2x2 crimp tubes. I've got some 6mm jump rings and one 8mm jump ring. I think that's everything that's in there. And here is what I'm going to use for my earrings. I've already got one of them made, but you would need for both of them 6 of the little triangle beads, 2 of the carnelian beads, 2 of the citrine beads. I've got some links of the chain that came in the box. I've got near wire and some 22 gauge German style wire in gold. I've got my Duracoat galvanized 11-0 seed beads that I'm going to use to space out the beads. I've got my bead stopper. I'm going to be using my soft flex beading wire and fine. This is 21 strand, and the color is copper. I don't have any gold, but by the time I get all the beads on there, you won't be able to see the wire anyway. I'm going to be using most all of my jewelry tools, my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, both pairs of my cutters, and I've already used my memory wire cutters to cut my chain. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, everything that didn't come in the box. So hold on, I get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, first I'm going to make my focal. And I've got a ball head pin. I'm going to put one of these little triangle beads on here. And I'm going to take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I want to make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I'm just going to wrap until there's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, and I use a different pair of cutters for craft wire and head pins and eye pins than I do for bead stringing wire. I'll cut off my extra wire. I use these crimping pliers. I use the little half circles on each end to tuck in the burr when I cut off the wire. So that's what I've got now. So I'm going to do that with these other two triangle beads. And then when I get them all 3 done, I'll be back and we'll put it together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all 3 of my little triangle beads wrapped here. And I went ahead and attached 2 of them to my links of chain. I've got 1 length of chain here that's got 2 links. And I attached my triangle bead with a 4mm jump ring. And then I have one that's got 3 links. And I attach my triangle bead with a 4mm jump ring. And now I'm going to use this one that has 4 links. And I'm going to attach this last one with a 4mm jump ring. Just open my jump ring, thread on my little dangle, and thread it onto the end of my chain. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring I have the hardest time finding the where the slit is on these little jump rings. I'm just almost certain it has a slit in it somewhere. There we go. Now I'm going to thread on my shortest, well, I got to keep hold of my jump ring. So I'm going to thread on my shortest. Okay. I'm going to keep a hold of it. Okay, now I'm going to thread on my shortest link here with the 2 links. And then I'm going to thread on the next size with the 3 links. And I'm going to thread on the next size with the 4 links. I'm going to close that back. And that's what I got there. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up. And thread on this jump ring and thread it on to my link. So that's what I've got there. So now I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring and open it up and thread on my link and apparently drop it too. And then thread it onto my bail. Close my jump ring back really well. And think these are those jump rings that I accidentally ordered. I thought they were 18 gauge and I believe they're 16 gauge. They're hard to deal with. So that's going to be my focal. So now I'm going to go ahead and string this up so y'all don't have to wait while I'm stringing all these little tiny beads. And when I get back, I'll show you what my pattern is. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got this strung up now, and I've got 11 seed beads between all the beads except for the triangle beads. I've got an 11 before and after them, but I don't have an 11 between them. I've got a carnelian bead, a citrus bead, a carnelian bead, 3 of the triangle beads, 2 carnelian beads, a citrus bead, 2 carnelian beads, 3 of the triangle beads, 2 carnelian beads, a citrus bead, 2 carnelian beads, 3 of the triangle beads, 1 carnelian bead, a citrine bead, 1 carnelian bead, and then I've got my bail on here, and I've got 3 little seed beads under there. I always do that to keep the bail from rubbing against the bead stringing wire. And then on this side, I've just got the exact same thing I do on this side. So now I'm going to crimp this. I have to give myself a little extra wire to work with over here. So I'm going to take my crimp tube and put it on here, and my wire guardian. And I'm going to come down the other channel of my wire guardian and back through my crimp tube. I'm going to hold my wires apart so that they don't get crossed. I'll tuck in my little wire guardian a little bit. Now I don't want my wires to be crossed because I want, when I crimp, I want each wire to land in its own channel, and if they're crossed, they won't do that. So I'm going to take these crimping pliers and go in that part there that has the tooth. Lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. And that puts each wire in its own little channel. Now I've got 3 half circles on each side of these crimping pliers. I'm going to go in the middle one. That's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. So I'm going to lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters that I use for bead stringing wire, and I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to push all this down. And I've still got my wire attached to my spool. I just do that when I can. I kind of feel like I don't waste as much wire that way. I'm going to cut it off my spool. I'm going to take my other crimp tube and my other wire guardian. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back into my crimp tube. Try to keep my wires from being crossed. I'm going to tuck in my little wire guardian. And I like to go through a bead on this side if I can to get my hands out of the way when I'm trying to crimp, and it centers that wire guardian over my last bead. I'm going to go through that carnelian bead there. Now I'm going to hold on to my wire guardian and pull my wire through. Now I want to make sure that there's no gaps in my piece, but I don't want it to be too tight either. And I usually kind of coil it up like that, and it keeps it from being too tight. So now I'm going to take my crimping pliers and go on the part with the tooth again. Lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. Then I'm going to go into the part with the half circles. Lay my crimp tube in there. Well, this part always wants to slip around on me when I'm trying to do this, especially when I'm doing it on video. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze. Got a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. So that's what I've got now. So hold on, I'll get the rest of my findings and we'll put those on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got the rest of my findings out here now. I'm going to put these on. So I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring and attach one of these links to each end of my necklace, because I just have to use these links because I love links. Well, I didn't have that open nearly wide enough. These are pretty thick links. I'm going to put on one side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back. These are just really, really thick jump rings. Okay, now I'm going to do that on this other side. Can't seem to keep a hold of anything today. This one on this side. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Oh my goodness. See if I can get this done now. Okay. Now I've got a couple pieces of chain here. I think they're about 2.5 inches each. I'm going to take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my link. These jump rings are so thick and these links are thick. I can't seem to get it open wide enough to go on there. Don't want to open it too wide and mangle it and not be able to get it back into that round shape when I close it, but I'm going to have to open it pretty wide to get this link in there. Now I'm going to put on my chain. Close my jump ring back. Okay, now I'm going to do that on this side. Okay. Looks like I'm going to drop all these jump rings about 20 times before I get this done. I'm going to put my other piece of chain on here. Probably should have used an 8mm jump ring here, but I just didn't want that big a jump ring there. Probably would have been easier though. Okay, now we'll see if I can get this closed without dropping it again. Okay, finally. Now I'm going to take my lobster clasp. See if I can get this little jump ring that's already attached to it open. I don't know. I'm sure it opens. I don't know if it does or not. It might be a closed jump ring. I think it probably is. So I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. I'm going to steal one out of my little earring tray here, and I'll get another one out in a minute. Oh, I thought I had some 4mm jump ring. I don't even have any in there. Hold on, let me get a 4mm jump ring. I'll be back. Okay, I got me a 4mm jump ring out here. Now open it up. Thread on my lobster clasp. Thread on one side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back. Okay, now I'm going to have an 8mm jump ring. Open it up. Put it on this side of my chain. And this little piece of extender chain is, I think it's about 1.5 inches. Close it up. Okay. See if I can get this little lobster clasp on here. Okay, now I'm going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. I'm going to ball a head pin, one of my triangle beads, and I'm just going to make a wrap loop like I did before. Bend the wire over, round those pliers in the crook of the bend, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the wire so they're facing the table, this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I bent chain those pliers and hold on to my, nope, got to open my, I almost forgot again. You all have been watching me for a while know that I forget this all the time. Got to open my loop first and thread on my extender chain. And I got to close my loop back. Now I'm going to hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Bent chain those pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, take my crimping pliers, tuck in my little burr, so there's my little dangle, and there's my necklace. So now I'm going to make this other earring to match the earring I've already made. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make my little earring now. And I've already made the bottom part of this because it's exactly like the focal, what I hung off that link on my focal. And I want to save some time since I took up so much time dropping the jump rings 100 times when I was doing the necklace. So I've got I wire wrapped the triangle bead and attached it with a 4mm jump ring to a length of the chain that has 4 links. And then I've got one here done the same way with 3 links. And then I've got one here done the same way with 2 links, just like my focal was. So I've got a piece of 22 gauge German style wire. It's about a 3-inch piece of wire. I'm going to go down about 1 inch. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers until they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to open my loop, and I'm going to thread on my link, my little dangle here that has 2 links of chain, and then my little dangle that has 3 links of chain, and then my little dangle that has 4 links of chain. And now I'm going to close my loop back. I'm going to take my bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my carnelian bead and put it on here. And my citrine bead. And I realized when I was showing y'all my pattern for my necklace, I kept calling these citrus beads. They're citrine beads. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Making sure to get the first wrapping under the bottom of the loop. Well, if I can get this back out and start over again. Afraid I messed up my loop. I'm going to wrap. There's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. Now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. Thread on my little earring here. So that's my little earring. And I already made this one. So hold on, I'll see if I can get this all laid out together and I'll be back. Okay, there's my first necklace and earrings set made from some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the Tropical Heat collection. I say the first one because I'm sure there will be many more. I'm always able to get many pieces of jewelry out of one bargain bead box. It's just a really great box, a really good value. It's one that I very much recommend if you enjoy beading and making jewelry. And like I said, if you're not subscribed and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.